Thought I'd do one quick talk on religion, the Abrahamic faith, and how that shaped our world. The Abrahamic faiths are the ones that derive from Abraham, and the first one, of course, was Judaism. Abraham is considered the first Jew, and from that later on, of course, we had Jesus in the New Testament in Christianity, which was mostly promulgated in the beginning by Paul, St. Paul, Apostle Paul. And later we had the Prophet Muhammad in Islam, which accepts the Old Testament and then the writings of Muhammad as their kind of New Testament, and they accept Jesus as a prophet, whereas the Christians accept him as the Son of God, and Jews don't accept him at all. But the thing is that back even further than that is the Old Testament God, Yahweh, and he's a tough character to deal with. He's modeled after these desert tribes had these kings that were despots, or rather tyrannical, and Yahweh acted the same way. They're God as their leaders and as the rulers, and you kneel to him and were obedient to him and subject to punishment if you displeased him. And so you get into this cognitive dissonance in certainly Christianity, and I think it may be true of Islam as well, that God, there's a fear of God, but yet God is love, loves you, which it's hard to reconcile these. It is balancing two contradictory ideas, cognitive dissonance, and we're back to man created God in his own image, as opposed to God creating man in his image. And we see that now with the religious right in America, which has nothing to do with Jesus or the original teachings of the New Testament. But if we're living in a simulation and the universe is a virtual reality, these despotic ruler gods such as Yahweh are all melt away. And that fear that is instilled by the Abrahamic faith, those religions cannot control you. And that is ruled by fear by these religions. And now they sit and wait. The Jewish people wait for the return of the Messiah. The Christians wait for the return of Jesus, and Muslims were, I forgot what it's, the sixth Imam or the seventh Imam. They're all waiting on somebody. And in the meantime, that's a good excuse not to do anything other than make laws and try to make you adhere to them, what they think their religious rules are, which is rather bizarre. But they don't necessarily follow, but they want you to follow, and it's human nature. And all these theocracies, whether it's the religious right in America or the Middle Eastern Islamic states or Israel considers themselves secular, but the Orthodox Jews especially have all these rules. Love rules, and somehow all this is going to save your soul when you die, and then you get to go live with whichever God you believe in. There's been some good from religions. It's inspired people, and I think there is a certain amount of paranormal experience with religions and faith. And it goes with I think our thoughts do create our own reality up to a point, and our intent and our faith. But you get that with other religions. All three Abrahamic faiths. I mean, you got 1 billion people believe in Islam. And you got I don't know, another 1 billion Christians or so. And you got, I'm just talking about Orthodox, or Orthodox Jews, and then I'm talking about Abrahamic faiths only right now. So there is some validity to the aid and comfort, the psychological comfort you can obtain from religion. But there's also fear and enslavement by those beliefs, and ending up believing ridiculous things, and or being a hypocrite, and you know, you're all of a sudden you're Jimmy Swaggart being found with a prostitute in a motel room, or you know, sexually harassing someone as a right-wing Christian conservative politician like Dan Kirby in Oklahoma. And I mean, it just goes to the point of it's ludicrous. And yet these very people want to pass laws to enforce their religious beliefs and generated by fear on the rest of us. And I think it's important not to accept that fear and to escape that fear and say, you don't have power over me, whatever religion it is. Of course, you say that in Saudi Arabia, they'll cut your head off. And up to a point, there would be a backlash in the United States. And in certain areas, there would certainly be. If you're a public figure, they'd probably vote you out. And if you all of a sudden said you weren't afraid of God anymore, and you looked under the bed and there wasn't a boogeyman. So if you do accept your responsibility for your own actions as an avatar in this virtual reality, and then maybe you're here to try to increase the quality of your consciousness and move towards being a better entity, a better human in this case, since it's what we're incarnated here as at the moment, me speaking and you listening. You know, you have to, all of a sudden it's not under threat of Yahweh or Jesus or Muhammad or the Messiah. It's under your own volition as a sovereign spirit, a sovereign soul. In this world, a sovereign human, a sovereign consciousness. Again, with all religions, not just Abrahamic faith, but that's just what I was talking about now. You know, faith is a force, and intent. And people have found great comfort in various religions, and not just the three Abrahamic faiths, but Buddhism, Hinduism, just New Age spirituality, whatever, indigenous religions. But you get trapped in those beliefs, and all of a sudden you're accepting things that don't make sense, that are harmful. So there's good and bad. At times it's been religion that held civilization together during barbarism. But with the internet and everyone talking to each other now, those days seem to be over, although there's a strong backlash and There's always a cultural war. There's always conservatives against liberals, religious against secular, whatever country. I mean, in one country it's the Muslims fighting the secular, another it's the Christians wanting to pass their laws, and you know, don't want certain people going in this bathroom or putting signs in bathrooms like they're going to do in Oklahoma. And the Republicans have something about bathrooms. They're totally hung up on that, and no one else cares. And I've never known of any such incidents that they're worried about. But as many artists and innovators have said, you got to free your mind, and you got to walk away from all that and get away from that fear. Walk down that path. It's only going to be real to you when it's your own subjective experience. That's why you'll see people in a church. My experience is mostly with Christianity, and I've studied theology and have theology credits, and read the entire Bible more than once, and the entire New Testament many times. And but yeah, people, you can't live up to it, and that pressure gets on them, and then they stray off into these beliefs that aren't even relevant. But it gives them hope, it gives them comfort, and it also locks them down in their belief system. And people start believing irrelevant things, crazy things, when you just need to accept yourself as you are, and accept your mistakes and faults, and at that point, I'm not even going to say you need to try to do better. You just, under your particular subjective experience in this avatar, you're going to have to learn it yourself, whatever stage you're at, or what your purpose is here this time. It says, I put on some of those YouTube videos down, and if you'll click on read more, I put some quotes down there, and some I believe, some I agree with, believe that it's probably true, but some I just put down there, just give different perspectives. And Rumi is my quotes down in the description. What's your